born and raised in Congo Republic, a French-speaking country in the central part of Africa. Mazach Bongu, who is now a PhD recipient, learned how to speak English by listening to Voice of America's program called Learning English while growing up in Brazzaville. Bongu emigrated to the United States on a Fulbright scholarship to pursue a master's degree program. This was before completing his PhD in global studies after returning to the U.S. following years at home in Congo Republic, where he established a business. For more on his story, I reached Mazach Bongu.
I came to the U.S. to do a master's degree as a Fulbright scholar. So I got a Fulbright fellowship when I was back in Brazzaville.
What was the motivation for you to apply?
I can say because of my mother. My mother mentioned to me the power of education and the power of a personal history. She mentioned to me that education can be a great force to empower myself. And then at that time, I knew that the best way for me to have the education that I wanted to have is to get a Fulbright fellowship. And that's why I thought America was a best place for me to come and get my education.
Well, talking about America, I understand learning English in Congo, where you were born and raised. You listened to Voice of America, which helped you in developing your English skills. So talk to me about that process.
Yeah, so I learned English by listening to the broadcast called Voice of America, and actually I was in one of the regions when I was doing my college, and then one of my teachers who taught us English at that time was always absent, at the school. And then he saw my interest, my motivation to learn English. And then he told me that if you want really to learn English, you should have a radio and turn on to the broadcast Voice of America. They have a program on English. And if you can do that, I think you can improve your English. And that's where I started learning English. Learning by listening to the Voice of America.
So what was the motivation for you to complete your PhD or undertake your PhD course?
I wanted not only to be a scholar, but also I wanted to understand in more details some of the issues that prevail in the world, and particularly in Africa. So I wanted to be, part of the Africans who think, but also can apply what they think. So that's why I thought that the best way for me to pursue that dream was to do, a PhD. That's from, I can say, academic perspective, but also from a personal perspective. It was also about family pride. My mother dropped out of school when she was pregnant with me. She never finished high school, and for me, it was also the way to reward all what sacrifices that my mother has done for me.
I understand you've written some books. What is your latest book, and what was the focus?
I have written 2 books. One is The Power of a Personal History, Turning One's Life of Personal Tragedies into Triumph. It's a book of my journey, surviving civil war in 1999, and then living in the forest for over a year without decent food, living in the huts made of palm leaves and trees, and then going to get a Fulbright scholarship. So it's a book about the discovery of a personal history. It's inspirational, like a power, and the sacrifices that I have to make to turn those tragedies into opportunity for growth and triumph. So the book is also the power of education.
What will your message be for those who are listening to you about your journey so far?
The core message that I am trying to deliver is that history is not the past. History, it is who we are. History invokes inspirations that shape our present and future conditions. I'm very happy. I never thought that one day I could be on a Voice of America to talk about my story, since I learned English by listening to the Voice of America. And I want to say thank you again for giving me this platform to talk about my book.
Masachs Bongo is a PhD recipient in global studies. He spoke with me from California here in the US.